Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Don Charles at your gym, Punch London in Mill Hill. Just wanted to ask you, we've spoke a little bit about Dereck Chisora already. What's going to be his next move? There's been a lot of talk about him fighting Dillian Whyte on Sky Box Office, December the 22nd. It seems like there's a bit of a hold-up for one reason or another. What insight can you give us into that?
Well, we've been chasing, I know Dereck for sure has been chasing for that fight for a long time. And I was reassuring him that if Dillian, you can't force people to fight. You can't force anyone to get in the ring. And I also feel for Dillian Whyte in the sense that he'd worked himself up to where he's in contention for a challenge of the world title. He's never had a crack at it. So I can understand Dillian not wanting to fight Dereck Chisoras, because why would you if you don't have to? Why would you? If Dillian Whyte was my fighter, I'd be advising him to stay well clear of Chisora. Yeah, why? Yeah? So, but demographically, as you know, the way the heavyweight division is set at the moment, unfortunately for Dillian, all the avenues are kind of blocked where he can then go and get a direct challenge at any of the titles, the ones that AJ have and the one Deontay Wilder has. So it leaves him with very few options, Dillian Whyte, this is, where he's now been snookered, where he's got to, the only meaningful fight that, for example, the British public, they would like to see is a rematch between Dereck Chisoras and Dillian Whyte. It makes a lot of sense to us, not to Dillian, because, again, he doesn't want to risk his position in the world rankings. Why would you, like I said, why would he? But we're hoping that now he's actually limited with his options, that he will see sense, okay, and do a deal to fight Dereck Chisora.
Give us an idea of how far apart the two parties are in terms of a contract or financially, and also how certain or how a percentage of how sure you are the fight will happen on December the 22nd.
Yeah, as you know, I'm not really at liberty to give you percentages in the sense I'm not the manager, I'm just a trainer. But being a person who's also involved in what we discuss everything, but like I said, right now, it wouldn't be right for me to comment on how near we are. All I can say, I believe the fight will happen between Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte. The fight will happen. What are the percentages? I couldn't give you that because I'm not the one speaking with AD or Sky. So
you may feel, as I'm sure a lot of people do, that Dereck Chisora was a deserved winner of their first fight, which Dillian got the decision, obviously. That in mind, it was still a very close fight. So what does Dereck need to do differently if the rematch does occur to ensure he gets the victory second time around?
Well, quite simple. I quite agree with you. I mean, everybody has told us, I believe we should have got the nod for being declared the winner in the first fight they had. To being fair, neither man deserves to be called a loser that night, in my opinion. A draw would have been the right logical result, but nevertheless, it went Dillian's way. But where we are now, you asked me what we're going to do different to make sure that we get the decision.
Yeah, to put it beyond doubt.
Well, basically, it's quite simple. We're going to become the judge and the jury on that night. Don't let it go to full distance and make it conclusive inside the distance.
Has Dereck got renewed confidence in his own power after the performance against Carlos Takam last time out, where he was up against it for quite a few rounds and pulled out a massive shot to finish matters when it counted?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's in any sport you keep practicing set pieces and stuff. That's one of the set pieces, or that's actually Dereck's money shot, that over right hand. That's his money shot, and over the years he's been practicing it, perfecting, and it came home on the night.
So the game plan, quite clearly, as you said, is to knock Dillian Whyte out. Dillian Whyte's, apart from Anthony Joshua, has not been knocked out, but there were some vulnerabilities showed in his last fight against Joseph Parker. Does that give you renewed hope that a knockout is a viable option for you guys?
There's many reasons why we believe we're going to be victorious. I'm not going to go into details. Dillian Whyte knows all this. He knows. I know him inside that because I was probably one of the very first few people that witnessed him converting. As you know, he was a kickboxer before he was a boxer. Dillian was introduced to myself by a gentleman, Spencer Fearing. Okay, he first brought awareness of Dillian to myself, and Dereck, I wouldn't exaggerate, they've done at least 100 rounds over the years together. Yeah, so I've seen all what I've needed to see about Dillian Whyte. I know his psyche as well. I know Dillian Whyte, his psyche. There's many reasons why I sit comfortably here. Yeah, not complacent, not just, Dillian Whyte is an improved fighter. Okay, Mark Tibbs done a tremendous job. He was always been an improved. My friend used to train him, Chris Hocko, as you know. Yeah. And so over the years, for somebody, you have to respect Dillian Whyte, because he was a kickboxer who converted to becoming and also he took, I think it was 2 years out of the game. Okay, he came back, and I have to salute him, because to be 2 years out, bring yourself back, fought Anthony Joshua, put up a good fight. It got stopped, yes it did, but he put up a good fight. And then became the British champion. He beat a guy that I trained, Ian Lewison, if you remember, heavyweight. He beat him. So I believe we beat him, Dereck beat him, but he got the decision. Fine, we'll live there. The public saw what happened, so we don't need to say anything or protest. Or the public was there to say it. So all we ask of him, get back in the ring, give the British public what they want, which is a rematch between Dereck Chisoras. And also for monetary reasons, it will generate a lot of revenue for all parties, for all concerned. So there's a lot of reasons why he should get back in that ring.
One last question on this subject before we move on. What do you think of having this pay-per-view potentially on December 22nd with BT Sport putting the Josh Warrington-Cole Frampton PPV on the same night, and what that means for fans specifically so close to Christmas?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of something, who am I to say? If it could have been avoided, it would have been nice for the clash. And like you said, it's Christmas time, and to pay twice on the same night, different networks, it's kind of a bummer, really. Why it couldn't be done a week apart, I don't know, or 2 weeks apart. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Who am I to say? It's too big for me to comment on that, why that clash happened.
Thank you, Don.